So Jan is going to take us through a couple of things that he's working on, including a Slack integration, and we'll see how we can help.
Yeah, right. So I share my screen here. And yeah, I was working on my chat feature, my native chat feature. And I think I did quite good so far. So I have a chat, I have notification bubble here. And yeah, when you send the other person, yeah, it's updating immediately. So that's quite good. So what I want to do now is that I send an email for the notification that a new message is in the chat right now. And for that, I was trying to build this with the Sendgrid action. I have to look here. So I have this one and a flow, and I have the send message. Yeah, and I have the send email action here. But what I was missing on this one is that I cannot put in the template number and the ungroup ID for Sendgrid. I found this other pattern here, and in that one there is the template ID and the group ID inside. And I already used this for my forgot password, and there it's working for that. And yeah, actually, I want to build the same, or I want to send them the same mails, the template mails for the notification for my chat. That's what I want to do. And yeah.
So for that one, that action, you can't, it's not made for templates. It's just made to give it HTML or text that you want to send. So that's why you can't find it. It's not the other thing that you were doing is like built in a builder for those forgot password emails. And then this action is like a separate thing. But I don't think it's too far of a jump to modify it. Basically the action function that runs when you do that Twilio Sendgrid, it's sending to Sendgrid's API, but it's just using their transactional API endpoint. So you need to look in their docs and see what it would take to switch that to their template-based email.
Okay.
But I bet it's pretty straightforward. I don't think it would be a crazy, anything real deep.
Yeah. So I found out that I have the action I type here. And what I was trying here was that I copied the Sendgrid and wanted to build with a template.
Nice.
So I added here 2 new arguments, template ID and the group ID. But now I have no idea how I get them in the JSON or in the I found out that here in the JSON on line 800 or something like that, there is with the function is built here or something like that.
Yeah. And actually for this one, you have to edit in the JSON, I think.
Yeah.
It doesn't display totally in the
Here's the function with Sendgrid and something like that.
Yep.
And so actually I had to do, or I need to put my 2 new arguments into that function, right? Then it might be working, or isn't it?
So yeah, especially if you've already looked up what to change it to. The way that it's done, you can see them in there, like on line 1003, where it says type config value API key. That's basically saying the value of the input that's called API key. And then down below, there's one called toEmail that's like coming from the value of that action when you set it up. So this whole thing is like a concatenate. It's stringing together all the information needed for the API. So you can see it starts with type static, and that'll just take whatever's typed. And then the next one is a type config. So that means it's going to take the value from the input. And then the next one's a type static. And what the action type does is string those all together.
Yeah.
So yeah, you kind of have to play with it and look at what's there, and you'll be able to get it done. It's just you have to kind of use it's a little abstract. It's not totally visual, but does that make sense? Some sense?
So you don't know at which position I have to put in the new arguments. So I have to look
You would
up
probably
this.
have to like do, if you didn't look it up to know where that is, you'd have to look in Sendgrid's documentation, and it might even
Okay.
be a different endpoint. Like this endpoint is like Sendgrid/mail/send. It might be, you know, send with template, or it might just be an extra parameter for template. I don't know how they have it set up.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it's just a parameter. If you go back to that other project where it has the
Huh.
JSON example,
This one.
yeah. I see. So template ID is just on the main, it's just a property on the main object. And then the group ID is nested within the ASM object. So you would essentially build it at those same levels in the JSON over there.
Yeah. So
So it'd be after. So notice like on line 1008, if you look at that value,
yeah.
this is where it starts to concatenate the actual content.
Yeah.
So notice it opens the first bracket, and then the first property is called personalization.
Yeah.
And it looks like that's an array, which has the email stuff. And then if you look at line 1020, then that starts the next property, which is from email.
Yes.
So you could essentially do it after that one. So what I would do is I would copy lines 1018 through 1025.
And 5. Yeah.
Yeah. And then click after that. After you copy that, click after that comma.
Okay.
And then just paste that.
I think actually that might be the wrong spot before you go too far. I think that from is its
that still
own
inside?
object, right?
No, or oh, I see. You're right. You're right. That is an object.
So back.
Yeah, go back. So we'll need to go further. It's after, what is it, the subject?
Yeah, I think subject would work.
Subject.
So after line 1044.
Okay. So here.
And
This
then
one.
we would need to change that value on 1048 to essentially, so like after, like where it's escaping that first quote, we'll essentially remove that, and you'll need to go copy the property name, which I think was template_ID, and replace that with the text in between, like after the first escaped quote.
Wait, this one.
More back, that one. Yeah. So like remove all that all the way to you
with the comma.
Yeah, you can remove the comma.
You can remove all of that probably,
Yeah.
all the way to except the last quote at the end.
So all the way to that colon after email.
Also, this also. Wait.
We're just gonna clear that value out and redo it, I think. So
Yeah.
Wait,
So-
back to it.
Exactly. So
Until here.
and just type template_ID all lowercase.
ID.
Yeah, and then in here we'll need to then do a / and a quote to escape it, because we're wrapping that property name.
How do I do that on Mac?
It's the same as what's right
here.
before it.
Yeah, and then
This one.
yeah, and then after that we're gonna put a colon, and then again another / and a quote. No, not a comma, but the two little dots.
This one.
Yeah, and then another / and then the double quotes. And then on line 1052, for the value, we need to change the actual, where it says from email, to whatever name you used on the argument where you're specifying the template ID.
So I have to look.
Before you click out, hit save.
Yeah. Yeah, save it.
Oh yeah, Jason saved. Okay. So
And if you
Where's my
open that
argument?
template ID,
template
it'd be
ID.
the name. So it's the same.
This-
So you can just copy that.
This one.
Yeah, just copy that.
Okay.
And let's go back to the JSON. And let's go back to that line. I think it was after 1025.
Oh.
And
It's 10.
right here. So line was it 1050
Yeah, it was like 1049 or 1050.
or 1048?
Here, template
Instead of from email, just replace that with the value you copied.
this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then that now
There's
added.
one thing you forgot there too before we move on. It just in the beginning on line 1044, we need a close quote and comma.
Nice catch. Yeah.
So it'll match line 1052. So it's like an escaped quote and comma in the beginning of the value. Or I can. It's so hard to explain.
Yeah.
It's right,
Yeah, it is.
So like after value, and then there's
After.
and then after the colon, and then go one right there. Do another forward slash and then a double quote.
Here, and this one.
No.
No. Oh.
No, to the right of it.
Right there, yeah.
There.
Here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So do another forward slash and then quotes and then a comma
And
and then a comma.
comma.
Yeah, because
yeah,
that
okay.
needs to close the previous one.
Okay. Yeah.
Seems like gibberish, but yeah, it's just like JSON. We're just like opening and closing things with quotes and putting commas in the middle, but you have to kind of wrap your head around this format.
Yeah.
And then we would essentially need to copy lines 1042 to 1050 or 1049,
Yeah.
sorry.
1049. Here.
Yeah, and then copy all the way to 1042.
So from this bracket. Start.
No, the comma. Yeah, from there.
From the
go up,
comma.
and then go up the other way to 1042.
1043.
Get that bracket also though on
Oh,
1040.
the bracket. Oh. So this one.
Yeah, so yeah, copy that, and then
Yeah.
after that comma on 1049, just hit enter, and then let's paste that. And then I
Take
think the
comma.
other one is an object, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was an object. I forget the exact thing. I was like ASM. So you can check that other tab now where you
Yeah.
have the instructions from Builder to do the template. You know what I'm talking about?
This one.
Yep. And so we're just looking. So we did that first property, template ID. Now we have to do the second property, ASM.
Oh yeah.
with
ASM.
by group underscore ID inside of it.
Yeah.
So I can copy this one.
Yeah, you can copy it. We can remember
Okay,
that.
here.
Oh, not the whole thing probably, because we're gonna have to
Okay.
write it a little differently.
Yeah. 'cause we
Okay,
have to escape it a
so-
bit.
So this one.
Yeah,
Just
you
copy
could just go in. We could just type it. It's just ASM is all we need to remember.
Yeah.
You don't really need to copy it.
Okay. And
So-
where do I put this?
So replace that one with the one that says template underscore ID with ASM.
ID,
Yep, right there.
ASM.
Yeah. And then for this one, we need to open another object.
So you can do it, I think, all online, right?
Yeah, just all in line would be best.
So yeah, after that quote, after that colon, it's like
Yeah.
ASM escaped quote colon.
Go
Oh, yeah.
left,
Right before that.
left, two more,
Left.
right there.
Yeah, right there.
Here.
And then do an open squiggly bracket.
And open this one.
Yeah. And then go press right on the keyboard twice to go in
Yeah.
front of it now. Yeah. And then in
You didn't know you
here,
were going to practice English with words like squiggly today, did you?
Yeah, exactly.
this is where we're gonna now type group underscore ID. This is now gonna build the first property in that nested object.
Okay. Group underscore ID.
Yeah, and then you're gonna need a forward slash quote,
Oh.
and then followed by a colon, and then another forward slash. and then the double
Uh.
quotes. And then I'm assuming you probably named that argument group ID. So on line 1057, just replace the word template with group.
Hmm.
And then we can confirm that after we finish this and save it. And then on line 1062, we need to close that object that we opened for ASM. So it'd be, yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right after that quote, right?
Yeah. So
Or I guess we need to escape the other one. So we need to add one anyways, right?
I don't think you do, because
Or,
just
or no,
I
we
think-
don't, because it's the
yeah,
comma.
right
You're
before the
It's
comma,
before the comma. Yeah.
before the comma here.
right there. Yeah, so it's like the closed squiggly bracket now.
Exactly.
Curly brace. I don't know what that's called.
No. Where is it? No.
That,
Oh no. Oh no, this one.
Close.
Yeah.
There you
that
go.
one.
Yeah. I found it.
Okay, so
Perfect.
that should be it, right?
So remember to save JSON at the bottom before you click
Yeah,
away.
click save.
Okay.
And then
so-
let's go back to properties at the top left. Let's just go confirm the name of the last argument. Yeah,
Everybody.
so that should work. So if you drop this action now into your flows on the
Okay.
page.
So to go back.
Or is this your action already, or
No, this is not mine.
they have a
Action,
different
and then it's Sendgrid and custom, this one.
yeah? And then scroll down. Let's just make sure we see the arguments down there. Yeah. Cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then you'd
So
essentially
there's no function that I can move them upwards, is it?
you move it in the action type.
Like in the JSON where it's just in, you can rearrange it, or they're up and down arrows in the actual interface. I forget, but you
No,
can.
I
Remember,
don't
one of
think
them
so.
has it. I don't know.
If they're not in there, you could just do it in the JSON.
So I thought he has no drag and drop or something like that.
Then you have to do it in the JSON then if you want to rearrange
Okay,
it.
no, it doesn't matter. So it's okay. Yeah.
You want to go back in there?
It'll
Yeah,
work.
exactly.
It'll work anyway. So
Okay. So
Just to recap, you basically just created a custom
Action.
action to
Yes.
be able to use your use your dynamic templates in Sendgrid.
mhm.
Okay, super cool. I'm sure
that'd be a
there
good
are
action
other
for us
people
to
who
build.
could use that, so
Yeah.
that would be a great shareable thing. Okay, very cool. Did you have something else? I think, Jan, was there something else?
yes, I have.
And then we'll go over to Lars. I think you-
Yeah, it was the the API from Slack was not working. Where is it? Yeah, I have it here. And I have tests. I have different tests. Yeah, I have no idea if we can go deep in this now, or what I tried is that I looked up the API with a webhook. So I have the webhook here in my secret.
Yeah.
And have my content type, something like that. And I have the body. That was my question. Do I need to put these what's called it?
Keys or something.
The up, no, what's the name for it?
Oh, the quote?
Yeah, code. Yeah, exactly.
No, you
do
don't.
I
need
have to-
quotes.
Do I have to put them
Depends on the
in or not?
Oh, no, because you're using the JSON object, so no.
Okay, no.
But
Okay, so
you do-
actually-
you do have to target a specific channel, or else the request to Slack won't work because it doesn't know where to send it to. So I think that's why it's failing, because you're just sending it to something called test, so it doesn't know where to go.
No, actually, I built this web flow, this webhook on a specific
Oh,
channel.
it's a specific channel. Okay, can we run it and check the network? Because then we can see what the response is.
Yeah, okay.
And then before you run it, open the dev tools
Okay.
and then go to the network.
Yeah, and how do you say that word for the dev tools?
Where was it?
When you
You
write,
right clicked.
When
When-
I click, it's untersuchen. It's
under
okay. So I click now here.
Yeah, go ahead and click it, and I want to see what the response is. Okay,
Chat post message.
what is that?
I think maybe the URL's wrong.
Yeah, I think the
Okay.
because it should be a HTTP call to
manage.
Yeah, I'm wondering because you also said you built the thing with the channel in that webhook, but really it should just be like the generic Slack API
Yeah.
input, probably.
like if you go to their docs, they should give you the because the webhook's for the other way. The webhook's
This
listening
is my
for
webhook,
changes.
and this is on this channel. Where should I go now?
Do you have like the Slack docs anywhere open?
Is it this one? Publish a message. No, this was is the other one.
Because it's wherever.
I saw URL right there. The HTTP no conversation.
No, I think this is
this is
the
something.
one where the authorization was a bureau token. I tried this also, but this worked.
Because it's like
Not.
Drew saying, it should be a generic URL that you're hitting, and you're providing an API key, and that's
Yeah.
how it links to the account. And then in the body is how you're targeting the specific channel. Because I think what you're using is an actual webhook on their end. That's just that's used for something else.
Yeah, here this is.
This looks like it's incoming webhook URL, which is like if you post to that URL, it can post it in Slack. So you might be doing the right thing, but it's not something I've seen before. But yeah, it's not like an external, it's like an internal webhook. That's what I was saying in that docs.
Okay.
Actually looks like it
So-
should work, like how you had it.
Yeah.
But the thing that came back, there was like a CORS error and something else, like something goes under it, and we didn't look at what the response said. So maybe it's the right approach, but just there's an error somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I think for this one, maybe send me the details, like on how I can repeat it, because I'll need to go step through it and dive in and see what's happening there.
Okay. Yeah.
But the other option would be to use their messaging API. So right
Yeah.
now you're using a webhook to post the message.
Yes.
You can post the
this
message directly in their API too. It's different
With this one.
setup. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it looks right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Actually, I close. I tried this on this one, post, and then the API post message, content type, then the authorization with my Slack API
Yep.
token, and then I had the body channel and text.
I mean, that looks like it should work. Does your API token have bearer space and then the token, or is it just your token?
No, it's with space.
If it has bearer space, I mean, this setup looks correct. I don't know.
Okay.
You could also like run this one if it's set up somewhere and check the response of this. But I think either
Okay.
way, it comes down to checking the response on these.
Looks
Yeah.
like you're using the in-browser API call, and you're using secrets as well. And that's
Oh,
not
I didn't notice
related
that.
from Bool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah,
Oh,
secrets
what
won't work with in-browser API calls. You have to use the server-side API call action. The one's just called API call. That's the only thing that can use the secrets.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, good
Okay.
catch.
So it's this one, API, and this one.
Server
Yeah.
side, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's
cool.
why.
Then I
It's
will try
not translating the
with this
secret.
one
Mhm.
and go on with this one. So do I more often use the server side or the in-browser, or what is the
If you
better
need
one?
secrets, server
recommend-
side.
It depends, what the
Okay.
use case scenario. But
Mhm.
I usually to determine which one I use is just, are there any API keys that I don't want to expose? Then I always use a secret. So then I always use the server side one, because the in browser is going to expose anything that you put in that request.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, good. So yeah, then I would try the same setting like here with this one.
Yeah, and it
And,
should work, but that's
I-
why it's not working.
Okay.
Nice
That's good.
catch, Paul. I think, was it Jeroen who pointed that out?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you very much.
Well
Right.
done. Okay, Jan, well, set that one up, and then if you have any trouble, chat, and I think Dorian might still have access to your project, and we can go look, he can go look.
Yes, perfect. Cool.
Right. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Jan. So next up, it looks like Lars. Are you still on? Yes. Do you have a couple
Okay.
things you want to go through?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Let's do it. And I know you have
Perfect.
also asked a really good question in Flow's actions about the custom class. Is that what you're going to ask?
Yeah, one of those questions. Okay, first of all, I have one question that also is on the topic from Jan. So in most cases, I want to use server-side requests, especially something about security and so on. But an issue I'm having is often like if I play around with API that I want to see like the response. So like in the Google Dev Tools, is there a way to, without playing around in Builder, showing the response, to have like a way to play around with the APIs in Builder on the server side? Or like, is it possible to have like in development that all server-side calls are also front-end or browser calls, and in production it switches back to server-side? So it makes it easier to play around with APIs.
Yeah, you definitely can. Like, you can build your own conditions, and you can just base it probably off of the URL.
Okay,
Because in production, most likely you might have a different domain or something like that.
true.
So you can do it that way. But even with the server side one, it does a pass through on the response anyways. So you should still see the same response.
Okay.
It's just hidden in the network. So you do have to open the networks to see what that response is.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, like, what is the best way to do like input validation on the front on the browser side? And I know you should do it also on the server side, but like, for example, I want to check if an email is reading email. I normally create a flow, compare it. It contains an @ symbol. Could it be also a property on input to have like validation rules?
Yeah. Do you want to answer that one, Drew, or do you want me to?
Yeah, well, I can. There's not really like an easy way to do validation, like a simple way in Builder, but you can do it like any way you do in code. So there are attributes on inputs that do little bits of validation. It's like browser based and it's kind of limited, but you can like restrict it to like by regular expression or like do other things. So you can add attributes in Builder and get that done. That's
Okay.
one method. Or like I kind of have like my own method that I just use where like I'll set a variable to true or false, check a bunch of inputs, and then yeah, something like that, where I'm just making something custom for each form kind of thing. That's usually how I end up doing it. Or you can just chain condition actions together and one after another and go through the whole thing.
Exactly. That's what I'm doing at the moment, like having condition check, run a flow, and so on. Yeah. Okay. And I have a few questions on styles. So I looked into some analytic solutions and I want to track some user behavior or special events. And normally you need to add like a class to an element. But when I checked in the browser, I get like this cryptic classes on the diff, for example. Is there, what's the way of adding like my own custom class? Can I do it simply by adding a style class with the same? Is it, I don't really know. Okay.
No, you can't do it with our style classes because the names are GUIDs. But it depends on your setup. Like if you're trying to add it to a specific element on the page, then the easiest is to just use the external, what's it called? The
External style classes.
Okay.
And you just
that-
type it in there. It's literally
That'll take
just
anything you put in there. So you can put spaces and stuff. It'll do multiple classes. It just whatever you put in there, it'll spit out.
Oh,
And
perfect.
then-
Okay.
And then the last method is, because if you put it in the external reference, then it's going to be there on vendor, on the initial. But if you want to like add a style or a class or your own class based on an interaction or something else happen, then you can use the set attribute and the remove attribute actions.
Okay, yeah, I would play around with it. I think external class, I give it a try. Okay, maybe I need to share my screen for the next question, but I would like to have the right. I think it's this one. So yeah, so it's more like a convenient thing. Let's say I have a new section without a styling class here, and I want to add the styling class, and I didn't create it yet. It would be amazing when it automatically creates those style classes by pressing enter, instead of like, okay, nothing is happening. You need to type it again here by creating a new style class. It's like the small convenience thing.
Yeah.
And also, when I play around with styling class, so normally you open the style class and you search like, oh, what kind of flags did I put on this element? But you have the wrong, you clicked on the wrong element and you switch it, so styling is closing. Why doesn't it stay open until I change back to properties, for example? Now I have to go through everything, click again, style class, oh no, it's not the right one, click again, open layout again, check it, go to the next one. It's also like the small convenience. Is there a better way to work with it?
I don't know if there's a better way to eliminate that. I feel like, so like one thing that, I don't know, depending on how comfortable you are with CSS, but like I use the styles view in the middle and the bottom called used props. So like, I feel like I don't run into a situation where I'm going to styles and then having to find which thing to open to find an exact style. So I feel like that's a little easier, but you know, if you don't know the style ahead of time, that view doesn't usually work.
Yeah, because now I'm having to open everything, it closes again, I need to open it again, and that's kind of annoying.
That's the button Drew's talking about at the bottom. You see where you're on use props. If you click on instead of all props,
I actually don't think that
props.
it solves it for him, because what Lars is saying, I think, is that he wants it when he moves from element to element,
This stays open.
wants it to go there, but the thing is, how does the system know which style class to open?
Because you can have multiple.
That's the problem with, I think it's a UI thing. Is it that, I mean, how would we know you want to open the main style class? Or if you have, you know, a main style class and two utility classes applied to the element, how does it know which one of those you want to drill in on?
That this window is persistent and it only updates your settings here usually when you switch between elements. That would be awesome.
It would be awesome. That's just what she's saying is, I think, true. There's a step in between where you have to select your class. So it's like when you select a new element, how do we choose which class to open? So it's like a little tricky, but it is good. I mean, it's something to know, and like we can try to do things to make that experience better, even if we can't get it exactly, you know.
Okay. And last question is, I know you can create your own patterns and you have your own library of patterns. But is it also possible to only have like components which I can import, export without having like whole workspaces as a pattern, which I also completely import into the next project?
It's not, there's not really a great way. I think this is gonna improve like over the next months or next, like we're gonna be doing things to improve this probably, but right now, are you familiar with blocks? It's like if you have like an element with stuff inside of it and style
Yeah.
classes and all that, you can create a block out of it. So that would work within the same project. You could, you could use it as a block, then it'll pull in all the styles, all the children. So sometimes what you can do is like, if you have components that you always want to use, put them in blocks. So they're all nice and styled up, put them in a pattern. And then when you import that pattern once into the new project, it's going to pull all those blocks in. They'll just be in your menu to use. So it's almost like you import the pattern into a new workspace and forget about it. You don't have to care about it. But now you can use all those blocks. I think that's the best in between for now. But it's not like all the stuff with pattern and sharing is like a big focus of what's coming up for us. So I bet it's all going to get much easier and change anyway.
Okay, perfect.
Hurry.
Thank you so much.
Across the pages, yes. And thank you, Lars, for that feedback, because we are planning on redoing the style editor. With anything, it's like, how can you make it faster or improve the experience? And we've been wanting to do that one. So it's good to know like what would make a difference for you. That's always super helpful. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so let me see. We've got a few more questions. Cracka, I know that you're in the call and you had asked a question in extensions about the best way to make a drop down for a Chrome extension similar to a metamask. And it looks like you were having some issues with it opening in the same tab or different tab and asking you to sign in. Were you able to get that figured out, or did you need more help with that?
Yeah, so I actually figured it out. It was within the page settings, like when you export the Chrome extension itself. But I think Drew kind of like helped me out with adding the additional check if the MetaMask is signed in or if the builder account is signed in, but I still couldn't get it to work across multiple tabs. Like every time where I would open it up on a certain tab, the extension itself, right? I would close it, open it up on a new tab, and then I would have to click again, sign on or sign. I wouldn't have to sign the MetaMask transaction, but it would have to, I'd have to click sign in. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you guys want to like take a look, like when I had put in the let's see.
Yeah, I mean, feel free to share your project and we can look.
Yeah, is my screen good?
Yep.
Can you guys see this?
Yep.
Okay. So I had put in the actual flow for the page load. Where's it in here? This is the previously connected one. But for some reason I can't change this. Like when I put something in here, like say, get collections for wallet, right? And then I leave it, come back to it, it wouldn't be here. Like it doesn't save
That's
for some
weird.
reason.
That's definitely a bug.
I think I just wrote up a bug.
I think your mic's cutting out. Is it just me?
We can't hear you, Tor.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, I think I just wrote up a bug with the condition compare values. Let me see if I can verify that, but did it just get completely cleared out there? Is there something else that he can use instead, y'all?
Not for a condition, but can you open the dev tools? And I'm curious what the network request is, like when you select that action, like is it saving or is it throwing an error? And then go to the network tab in the dev tools, and then click in there and select that flow again.
Is there a particular one or anything?
No, any, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
And then click on that request, that 14 request on the right side there. And then go to the preview. And then expand that OBJ, which is the object, and then the Rex, and then 0. No
Oh.
editing. Yeah, it's not saving for some reason.
I mean, you could try just like putting a new compare
Yeah.
values action in and setting it all up, and it might just work. Like maybe something happened inside that action, but I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Yeah, because no
Okay, it's
entity
pretty
means
simple.
that record doesn't exist for that action. So yeah, drop a new condition action and then try it. For some reason, that one's like it's not there, but I don't know.
Your value. Let me just take this.
Yeah, copy that.
What does this mean exactly? Not equal?
Not equal, does
Not
not
equal to.
equal empty. So when
Okay.
it's not empty, run a flow.
Okay, that looks good. Delete this.
It might not be able to
It-
delete. It's probably saying
Yeah.
the same error when you try to delete it.
Yeah, it's like it's not actually there. It's like it didn't, but somehow it's still in the cache.
Oh shit. Yeah. So it wasn't me, right? It's a bug.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a bug.
something happened, but
All right.
I can
I don't think I can
reset.
even delete it. Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, it's finally went.
Let me just check real quick.
And then yeah, so this one's whatever flow you need.
Where did I see it? Where was it? Let me try check. Okay,
Yeah.
well that worked.
Yeah, it's like that other one was like in some broken state or something.
That's weird because I had gotten that one from the Web3 block.
Mm-hmm. Maybe something happened copying it over.
You know, within the button.
Which Web3 block so I can test?
I think it was the stylized one.
It's the MetaMask stylized connection. It's like there's only like a 3 or 4 of them, and there's one called like styled, and it has like a bunch of stuff in it. The MetaMask Connect.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll need a test through that. It's like maybe it's referencing an old version or something that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you see how it like when can you guys see this?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
You
we
can
can't
check
see
the
your
extension
MetaMask. We
too.
can only see it. Like it looked like it worked to me, but maybe it didn't.
Okay. So the extension pulls up, but every time I reload like a new page or something, like it'll like on my extension, it says connect to MetaMask again. Like
Oh,
it
you
pulls
had
up
to
that
click it?
initial page.
Yeah, it's not running the connection. That I think you'll be able to fix this. It's the action that you set in that condition you just did. The action that you want to run is supposed to be connect to MetaMask. That's what comes with that block. And I think you ran something else. So I wasn't sure if you knew what that get collections. You probably need to connect to MetaMask before you get collections, right?
Okay. Or I think on my flow it has like okay, wait, I'll just try that out real quick. So connect to MetaMask, you said, right?
Yeah. For some reason I can't see your drop down, but I think it's might be called MetaMask Connect or something. I don't know exactly. But yeah. So then this one, the success funct flow for this one is where you do that listing the wallets. But you could actually test it right now and see if it actually connects.
Okay. That would just be within this.
I didn't see if you clicked that button or not. It's hard to tell because I don't see MetaMask popping up. Oh, you clicked it.
Yeah, I still have to connect it. Like across like I guess.
Yeah, because I mean, even right now what you're doing, you're not even going to a different tab. You're like reloading the same page. It should definitely reconnect. I'm not sure exactly, but something, maybe that check isn't firing at the right time or something, or I don't know. We would basically have to go back through all the flows and look at stuff to try to pinpoint where something's going wrong, but you're definitely close. I mean, you're doing the right thing here.
Yeah. Okay, so it's something to do with this flow, the page binding flow.
I mean, that looks correct. The condition.
Can we
Check that.
confirm that flow's even running?
This one? Yeah, it might be this. I
Like,
could just use
is-
this one, right?
Like, is the page load what's running when that page loads? So remember we had that one time.
Yeah.
Some user had an issue. Like, go to the page body.
Page body, okay.
Yeah,
Page
and
body.
then okay, so it is running page load. Okay, okay.
Okay.
So that's good.
There might be the weight. There's like, so that that condition that you ran, it gets the local storage item as 1, and then it uses it in 2, and there's a don't wait in the middle. You could click that word don't wait, or that whatever you call it, and to make it say wait. You need to do that anyway, so
I
maybe
see.
that's why it didn't work. I doubt it, to be honest. Like it probably would still work fine,
Fast
but
enough, yeah.
you
Could I
could
just
try
run
that.
this the success flow if it's because basically if it has a storage of the MetaMask wallet, basically you can just run the success flow, correct?
You have to connect it. So what you want to do is you want to run the connect flow and then let that run the success flow when it connects. But when you run the
I
connect
see.
flow, like it should just be automatic if they've connected before. There, you won't even see a delay almost. You might see like a small delay, but it should just work without clicking.
Okay. I think that's what I use. Let me just check the flow here. Yeah, connect to MetaMask. Okay.
Yeah, that should work.
Let me just check it. Refresh the page. Can you see this drop down?
No.
Mhm.
No, you guys can't see it. Okay. So I'm connecting. Okay, let me just go to the site. Yeah, it's still not working. It could just be, I don't know. It's odd. So it should be like every different page that I go to, I can just click the extension icon and then it'll be signed in, correct?
I think it'll work on every site you go to. It'll stay signed in, but if not, it'll at least stay signed in for the same domain. So like if you're on Google and then you look at another different Google results page, it should stay signed in. And I've done it before with MetaMask inside of an extension, so I know that it should work. I'm not totally positive. If you went to a whole different site, maybe you'd have to reconnect. I don't know.
Yeah, and Jurin suggested to do to force the refresh of the pop-up. Sometimes those extensions get cached, and even though we change the flows, it's still reading it from the cache. We can try that. Like if you go back to that other tab and then just open the extension, and when it loads, right click on it and you'll see an option to reload it.
Okay.
So yeah, go there and then right click on that. Yeah, just anywhere on the actual extension.
Okay.
And then
Yeah, it's still telling me.
right click on the extension.
Oh, this one here?
No, like the actual
Anywhere
yeah,
inside there, yeah, like right there.
And we don't see the menus, but there should be one that says like reload this frame or something like that.
Yeah, reload this frame. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So then that will refresh it completely. But
Hey,
Yeah.
is there a chance that this isn't updated? Like what do you have? What is your Chrome extension using right now? Which environment? Is it tied to your dev URL?
So actually I like literally downloaded the extension and then I'm just like loading it in like on local.
We should
but
check.
I'm
We should
guessing
check.
yeah, we should check. If you
This
go
is-
back to the studio and then go back
Studio?
to the page properties or the page body for this one. And then go to the extension export at the bottom.
Like scroll down, yeah.
Sure.
And let's see, scroll down a bit in here. Yeah, it's using the dev one. So it's the live one.
Okay.
That's yeah, I think maybe Drew we'll have to go through those flows and see.
Yeah, I
So
think
it's something
maybe
to do
we
with
can
my
just
experience,
like,
but-
if you can share me on the project, if you don't mind, something like that, we can go in and look through outside of the call probably, because it's going to be something nitpicky. It's not something easy, you know?
Sure. Yeah, that sounds cool. Actually, so like I'm actually trying to put it as a subdomain, because I'm actually trying to get the extension on the Chrome store. But you know you have to validate the ownership of the actual subdomain. So I'd actually tried to do a deployment, right, to a actual subdomain, but then every time I try to go to it, it just won't work.
Yeah, I can see it says revision ID null, so something
Yeah,
happened.
you need to publish to it at least one time.
Okay.
So if you go out of this and go to the publish, yeah, go there. And then it'd be development as the source.
Okay. Oh, I see.
In
I
the
used
test.
the wrong one then.
Yeah, yeah.
And then now
Oh,
publish.
I see.
Because you have the
okay.
domain set up, but you haven't published to it, so there's nothing there. So try it now.
Cool. Yeah, it's loading now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is so interesting to me. Because I've never really worked with anything like this, like the extensions, and I didn't know it's basically just a web HTML like site that it loads up in the.
Mhm. Okay,
It's
cool.
interesting.
So next steps for this are for him to add Drew at builder.com as a collaborator and then send you a DM or something, Drew.
Yeah, I'll get an email if you have me. So.
Take a look. Okay.
And yeah, I'll just go ahead. I can just
Cool.
see if I can find any little detail in there.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Cracka. So let's see, we've got 5
Thank you,
minutes.
guys.
Let me take a look at the questions that we had. We looked at Jan. I think that's actually, oh, you know what? Mitch had a question that he asked where he's saying, is there a native way to move an element from one div to another without using JavaScript? I have a grid row I'd like to pop into a lightbox expanded view on a click without reloading it. Any advice for Mitch?
Like
Without
moving a
using
div over.
JavaScript, no. He can pre-cache the page, so it's already in the cache and it'll load as instant.
How does he do that?
There's an action called cache page, I think, right? And you just select the page.
Okay. Do you put that on the page load?
Yeah, somewhere before.
Yeah, yeah. I think though, if what they mean is that you change settings and then it moves and those settings stay changed, it wouldn't solve for that anyway. Like it would load fast, but it would always load from like, square
Fresh.
zero, square one, or whatever the
Mhm.
page. So I'm not sure. I'm trying to think like, yeah, I don't know that you could custom write JavaScript is the only way I can think to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. Without JavaScript, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Lars just reported that he found a bug. What is
And
it?
one
Or
question.
you could
Yeah.
do it actually with just CSS,
Hold on.
like
Lars.
faking it and making the row appear like a lightbox.
Oh yeah, just like actually convert the
Yeah,
row to a
yeah.
lightbox. That's a
So
good
you
call.
can do it actually, and it's the same one. It's just tricky.
I mean, yeah, I would say Mitch isn't on the call, right? I would say if you want to do that and you're seeing this, chat one of us in Discord. We can probably mess around and maybe it'll work for your use case. It depends.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Lars, what'd you have?
Yeah. Okay, let me show it to you. I have here a text element and I copied some placeholder text inside, right? And it's not showing.
Yeah, we solved that. It'll come at the fix for that will come in the next release.
All right, okay,
That's the
okay.
same
It's my
one.
worst nightmare bug. I hate that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because sometimes maintenance will push the change and I don't realize it, and then like the next day I'll refresh and then it's
Yeah.
like, oh, my content's gone. Like, really?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Is there a way to work around it, or what do you do? Just retype the text?
You can solve it by making a change to that element type. Because what's causing it is that this text paragraph element has a feature on the element type that takes the value that you enter in the display text and also tries to set it as the name. And what's happening is those requests are, instead of doing it as one request, it's sending 2 requests, and it's a race. So sometimes they conflict and the last one goes first, and that's why it breaks sometimes. But you can solve it by just turning that feature off on the element, and then you don't have to deal with it.
How can I turn it off?
If you go to the element types on the left,
which one is it?
further down, that one, then,
Element
yeah.
types, yeah.
And then just search for text, or it's that last one, text dash bear. Open that. And where is it? Scroll down a little bit. Right here, argument for element name. See how it's using that display text to set the name?
Yeah, this one, yeah.
Just set that to the first option, which means nothing. Select
Yeah, this one.
and then
Okay,
that turns that off, and then that won't happen. But that will only fix it in this project for that.
Okay.
element. So another
Is it
project,
auto?
yeah. And
You'll have to
we'll
retype
a
it. It won't
fix
fix
coming
it.
out for it.
Can I just paste it?
You might need to make a chain. Like if you just copy and paste
Oh,
it,
yeah,
it's
you
not
need to
going to
make a
register that it
chain.
changed and it won't save. So if you type like
Okay.
a 1 after it and then click out and then delete the 1, that's kind of how you have to do it.
Okay.
That's basically what I do all day. You have to actually like type 1 and
No.
then click out of it, which is what will trigger the save.
As like this. So I have to type like 1, click out of it. go
Yep, and
into
then you
it
remove
again.
and click out. It'll resave.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, there
it's
we go.
already there.
Oh yeah, okay.
No, look,
And
it's-
gone.
so
Does he need to re?
Okay, but I can figure this out afterwards, or
Sorry
otherwise I
about that,
just
Lars.
you may
Don't
have
worry,
to
don't worry.
refresh because that
Yeah.
right panel's still open. We haven't reloaded it since we turned it off, you know.
Just
Refresh.
But I don't know. But we solved the issue, and
Yeah, the
it'll
fix will come and it works like sometimes. So like what I do is I just add a 1 and remove a 1 a couple times until it saves. Which
Okay.
is so annoying, I know, but that's it. You can get it done that way.
All right. And finally, one question. I know you can copy, you also can duplicate. But for me, it's quite convenient. Let's say I want to have this section somewhere else to copy it and paste it somewhere instead of duplicating in drag and drop it. But it only copies the diff, right? It doesn't copy like the children elements. or
There's
child
another
elements.
paste. See that paste that it's like grayed out right now, but see the paste with a plus? That means paste with children.
Okay, great, perfect. Thank you
And
so
that, and
much.
just to know, next to it is paste styles, which is really useful too. It'll just paste the styles from whatever element you copied.
But there's no
that's also
undo,
good to
so
know.
be careful because I've used that and wrecked my styling. on that.
overrode. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lars, and thank you for the feedback too, as we change some things, which you guys will see in the next update. It's number one, helps to have other people who are actually using the tool and the way that you are give us the feedback. Okay, super. So I think we're at time. So if there was anything we didn't get to, please chat and we'll see if we can get to. I think Dorian and Drew both have something we'll try to help look at in your projects. And yes, thank you for coming today and making it a great session and giving us a chance to help. We'll see you again next Thursday. Alex,
Alex.
missed you. So have a great rest of the day, y'all, and we'll see you next week. Ciao.
Later.
Later.